because I can see the live translation isn't running immediately. So what Ranveerji is singing is actually a prayer. It is an ardas. But wherever there is hunger or thirst, anybody that is in need, may the Lord fulfill their hunger, their thirst, take care of them. And what Ranveerji is singing is that actually it's all that power is in the hands of the Creator who creates, sustains, maintains this whole universe. And it's a prayer to God. Anyone that's hungry, thirsty, homeless, doesn't have friends, is lonely, Lord, please protect them, please support them.
तुम्हारे प्यार से जो जिंदगी सजाए, तुम्हारे प्यार से जो जिंदगी सजाए, किसी बशर का कभी हम बुरा ना चाहेंगे, तुम्हारे प्यार से जो जिंदगी सजाए। संभाल लोगे उन्हें आगे बढ़ के 100 कदम, संभाल लोगे उन्हें आगे बढ़ के 100 कदम, तुम्हारी राह पे एक कदम बढ़ाएंगे, तुम्हारी राह पे गए एक कदम बढ़ाएंगे, किसी बशर का कभी हम बुरा ना चाहेंगे, तुम्हारे प्यार से जो जिंदगी सजाए। इन्हें हमारे गुनाह याद भी नहीं होंगे, तेरा इन्हें हमारे गुनाह याद भी नहीं होंगे, किसी की भूल अगर हम भी भूल जाएंगे, किसी की भूल अगर हम भी भूल जाएंगे, किसी बशर का कभी हम बुरा न चाहेंगे, तुम्हारे प्यार से जो जिंदगी सजाएंगे, जिंदगी सजाएंगे, जिंदगी सजाएंगे। प्यार से कहना।
बहुत अच्छा, Nirankari ji. Such melodious music, such a soothing voice. In fact, this young artist, people call him the young Jagjit Singh. We're very privileged that we've had an opportunity to hear his words and his songs, his ghazals. And I think we'll need to make some more time for him this evening to hear him once more. If I may request Ankur ji, Ankur Chadha ji, Surjit Dhami ji to come forward, we can hear from them, talk in English. And as we were hearing from Ranveer ji, that it's all about love, really. Everything's about love. If there isn't love, it doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter how much wealth you have, how big your home is. It doesn't matter how much you travel the world. If you don't have love, nothing matters anymore. You know, that's why it's been said that love is everything. God is love, and love makes the world go round. I remember a story when somebody, a wise man, a young person came to him and said, "Why is it that people shout at each other when they're angry? जब लोग गुस्से होते हैं, उनकी आवाज़ इतनी ऊंची क्यों होती है? Why do they shout?" And the wise man, who was spiritually learned, he said, "Look, when two hearts have become so far apart, they have to shout to bridge the distance. You know, the hearts are so far apart, to bridge that distance, you have to shout." And then the wise man said that, you know, when you have two people who are friends, they talk like I'm talking to you. They talk in a much more composed, calm way, because their hearts are a little bit closer. And it's been said, but then when there are two beloveds, two people who are in love, in romance with one another, they just whisper. They just whisper and talk quietly to one another because their hearts are so much closer. And you know, when there is spiritual love, when there is a love that is of the spirit, when there is a oneness, the souls and the hearts are one, then it's been said that there's no need for words anymore. People understand each other's sentiments even without them sharing them in words, in language. And that is the love that Babaji is trying to bring into this world. Somebody came to Babaji and said, "Babaji, Your Holiness, what is the most beautiful language in the world? What is the most beautiful language?" And Babaji said, "The language of love. It doesn't matter whether it's Arabic, American, English, Irish, Welsh, French, German, Spanish. It doesn't matter what language it is. If the language that is spoken is imbued with the sentiments of love, that language is the most beautiful." So I'm going to ask Sister Lalita ji to come forward to the podium and share a hymn in English, a song in English. And also, if I can request Surjit ji and Ankur ji to come forward behind the stage so we can hear their thoughts, their enriching thoughts, their spiritually elevating thoughts. Satsangat ye jo hame sama mila hai is satsang mein. Satsangat ye divye moments hote hain. These are moments of divine love. Ye satsangat hum kisi bhi कीमत पर खरीद नहीं. And you know, if that moment comes and it finds you sleeping, then what a shame that would be. Let us be awakened to this moment. Let us be open in our hearts and minds to receive the love and the magical devotion that Babaji has to share, because that is what it's all about. Sometimes it's raining, बारिश पड़ रही होती है, तो सात्संग इंसान कहता है कि मेरे तो बर्तन खाली हैं, मैंने बर्तन बाहर रखे थे, इनमें तो एक बूंद का भी पानी का नहीं पड़ा. तो साथ वाला कहता है कि देखो बारिश तो बहुत बड़ी है, मेरे बर्तन तो सब भरे हुए हैं, इसमें तो इतना पानी है, सभी लोग नहा सकते हैं, सभी परिवार के मेंबर इस पानी के साथ नहा सकते हैं. तो सासंग वो कहने लगा ये कैसे. उन्होंने उनके बर्तन देखे तो वो बर्तन ही उल्टे पड़े थे, वो बर्तन ही, they were upside down. The buckets, the whole utensils were turned upside down. It was raining, but there was no way that those bartan could take any water into them. In the same way, our heart and soul, if it's closed, it doesn't matter how beautifully Sadhguru knocks. It doesn't matter. In fact, I read a story once that Sadhguru comes to our homes and knocks on the doors of our hearts, wanting to deposit peace and love and joy. But what he finds is that the doors are so tightly shut, the windows are sealed closed. There is no way in which Babaji can deposit that love and that blessing. So what we have to do today is open our hearts, open our minds, be ready to receive these divine moments, because they may come once in a lifetime. It may come now and never come again. We do not know how much longer we have on earth, whether these moments will be here again. So we value and prize these moments now. And I'm going to ask Lalita ji, who we all know, this sweet young lady, who will sing a beautiful song in English for us. And after that, we'll hear from Ankur Chadda, if he is available. Thank you. And while she's coming, please एक बार सभी जय घोष में शामिल हो. बोल सतगुरु बाबा हरदेव सिंह जी महाराज की जय. प्रेम से बोलो प्यारेओ धन निरंकार.
Dear saints, please say with one loving voice.
धन निरंकार. सभी साथ संगत जब कोई धन्यंकार कहे तो साथ में धन्यंकार का जवाब दिया करें. साथ संगत हम, these are beautiful moments, let's join and take the blessings. एक बार फिर साथ संगत प्यार से बोलो, एक बार फिर प्यार से बोलो प्यारेओ. बहुत सुंदर.
please say with one loving voice.
Nirankari, beautiful melody. As requested, our young brother Ankurji, Ankur Chadda, will take us further in today's spiritual program, today's spiritual audience with Babaji, who will be joining us very shortly. As you can see, the partition is beginning to be opened. We will get more light and more room. And gradually there is as much Sangat outside of this hall as there is inside, and they will all need to be seated very shortly. Ankurji, and following Ankurji, if I could request Rajinder Rajanji from Glasgow to come forward and share a poem in Punjabi. Thank you.
Holy Sad Sangat Ji, let's try and attempt to praise the one that is beyond praise. Praise the one that is beyond form and say with love, Nirankari. Holy Sad Sangat, this mission, the mission's message is actually very simple. It's very simple. But sometimes our complicated minds that we have trained throughout our life can't take how simple it is. It's just so simple, but we can't grasp it. In the world today, we worship the sunlight, but forget the sun. We love waves, but we forget the sea. How can there be sunlight without the sun? There can't be. How can there be waves without the sea? There can't be. So therefore, how can there be life without a beginning? There must be a beginning. There must be a day before yesterday. There must have been a start. There must be a creator. And what Babaji is doing today, what this mission is trying to spread today, is that Babaji is uniting us with the source. He is uniting us with this one formless creator. Because if we do not know this formless creator, then our mind will not be at peace. And if our mind will not be at peace, this world will not be at peace. We see so much devotion in the world today. So much type of devotion. Many people sacrifice their lives. Many people carry out recitations, sit in penance, go on pilgrimages. But what Babaji says is that you don't have to just believe in one to know one. In order to believe in one, you have to first know one, not the other way around. People carry out these devotion acts in order to find God. But actually what Babaji is saying is that you have to be introduced to God first, and then you can fall in love. It is said in Punjabi that roti roti ਕਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭੁੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਟ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪਾਣੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੁਝ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਰੱਬ ਰੱਬ ਕਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ, ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਹੀ ਦਿਖਾ ਸਕਦਾ, ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਹੀ ਮਿਲਾ ਸਕਦਾ. Only Satguru can show you this. As Shansha Baba Avtar Singh ji used to say, sadhu di sharan leni hai. That we have to find the one who is one with the one, and therefore we all become one. And that is what we need. That is exactly what we need, is to become one with this one. But what happens when we become one with this one? You know, what's so good about it? Why do we need to do it? Well, Holy Sad Sangat, I can talk from experience, because with Babaji's blessings, I can now see this one. I have been introduced to this formless one. And now, everything is dissolved. Everything is faded. I don't see religion. I don't see nationality. I don't see caste. I don't see gender. I don't see political views. I don't see personalities, because all I see is this one. Everything else is dissolved. And therefore, once we see this one, we can live in harmony. And that is what life is all about. So Saints, if I could share a small, short poem which you have written, which describes this revelation that I've had with Babaji's blessings. The fragrant rose that you so delicately designed, the fragrant rose that you so delicately designed, the solar system that you so cleverly aligned, all is yours, yet I think all is mine. The skill is yours, yet you give me the credit. The skill is yours, yet you give me the credit. I boast, show off, and play. Little do I know that I'm always in debit. I think I can see you, but I can't. I think I can touch you, but I can't. I think I can hold you, but I can't. What are you, my Lord? You make my heart, then break my heart? You create me, then end me? You have gifted me this sass. You have gifted me this sass. I know that you are this ehsaas. Your silence is Hardev's speech. Your silence is Hardev's speech, who has introduced me to your reach. Oh, to be a speck of dust on your doormat, the chance to touch your holy feet. What a feeling to know the door to the world is where we meet. I spent my life with my head held high. Little did I know that it was my ego that had to die. You told me to observe the world as yours, to enjoy, live in peace, and stop all the wars. You created my heart to love you. You created my heart to love you. This vision has made me crazy. My vision is no longer hazy. It's crystal clear. How did I know you were so near? Why did you choose me? Why did you choose me? You chose to set your child free. I have tears in my eyes because I am crying and dying to tell you how much I love you. This feeling is only felt by a few. Satsangaji, please bless me that I can stay on this track and always have gratitude to Baba Hardev Singh Ji, who has introduced me to the one that is beyond form, and now my life is beyond form. Saints, say with love, Dhanung.
Some beautiful thoughts and a wonderful poem from Ankurji there. As you can see, we're still getting our sound system ready, but we're almost there. As requested, Rajinder Rajanji, I can't quite see him if he's in the hall. If he could make his way towards the stage, Rajinder ji, या सुरेंद्र कुमार जी आ जाएं. ये भी साथ संगत महात्मा ग्लासगो से है. ये आए एक कविता रूप से ये आशीर्वाद लें. तो लगता है दोनों ग्लासगो वाले, ग्लासगो है तो दूर लेकिन वो आगे थे संगत में. I did see them earlier. चलो राजेंद्र जी, जब भी this organization that Babaji leads, the volunteers of this mission, Babaji, who leads this mission, has been commended and awarded a wonderful honor. It's the Queen's Award. The Queen's Award is offered to voluntary groups, and it's like the MBE of awards for voluntary groups. जो साथ संगत आप देख रहे हैं, ये जो वर्दी डाले हुए ये महात्मा हैं, नीले रंग के कपड़े पहने हुए हैं, ये साथ संगत, इनको हम सेवादार बोलते हैं. ये बाबा जी की सेवा, सत्संगी सेवा, समाज की सेवा करते हैं. जहाँ भी कोई दुख तकलीफ़ हो, जहाँ भी कोई ज़रूरत हो, ये पहुँचते हैं. हमने देखा कि थाईलैंड में कुछ हादसे हुए, वहाँ पर इन्होंने मदद की. पाकिस्तान में अर्थक्वेक हुआ, वहाँ पर इन्होंने मदद की. नेपाल में अभी एक भूकंप आया था, वहाँ भी ये सेवादाल के महात्मा दूर देशों से पहुँचे. मायिक तौर पे तो ये सेवा करते हैं, लेकिन शारीरिक तौर पे भी हमदर्दी के साथ एक दूसरे के साथ कंधा मिलाते हुए ये सबकी मदद करते हैं. ये बाबा जी ने इनको तौफीक बख्शी है. और इनमें साथ संगत हम देखते हैं, कभी ये झाड़ू लेकर यहाँ पर साफ़ करते हैं, कभी कुछ साउंड का काम कर रहे हैं, कभी म्यूज़िक बजाते हैं. साथ संगत कोई डॉक्टर है, कोई साइकोलॉजिस्ट है, कोई इंजीनियर है, कोई बिजनेसमैन है, लेकिन साथ संगत इनको ये जो निम्रता सेवा में मिलती है, ये सेवा करते करते अपनी भक्ति का एहसास करते हैं और भक्ति प्रकट करते हैं. सो द सेवादाल, this mission, this organization is going to be commended by one of the highest honors in this country. So we should all be very, very proud and very pleased. साथ संगत चरणजीत जी पहुँच के हैं. साथ संगत इनसे हम एक शब्द की रहमत लेंगे. ये भी साथ संगत जो इनको बाबा जी ने बख्शा है, जो साथ संगत भक्ति इनको बाबा जी ने प्रदान की है, साथ संगत उनका प्रगटाव चरणजीत जी करेंगे. और हम सभी साथ संगत इनके साथ मिलजुल कर आनंद लेंगे। तो साथ संगत इनके उपरांत दासबंदी करेगा कि हमारे रसिया जी भी स्टेज पर आए, इनसे भी हम एक साथ संगत रौनक भरा गीत श्रवण करेंगे।
गुरु प्यारे साध संगत जी, बाबा जी के पवित्र चरणों का ध्यान तर बोलना जी।
धन्यकार जी। सत्संगत, अगर आप देख रहे हो कि आपके आसपास कोई खाली जगह है, थोड़ा सा आप उस जगह को जस्ट कवर अप साथ हो जाए। सत्संगत, इसलिए जो पीछे से बात आएंगे उनको बैठने में आसानी महसूस होगी। थोड़ा आगे अभी बढ़ जाओ। बहनों के साथ भी और भाइयों के साथ भी ये विनती करेगा, थोड़ा आगे एक दूसरे के करीब आ जाए।
जो बोले सद बलिया, धनंकार धनंकार धनंकार। मैं नीवा मेरा सतगुर चा, ते असा उच्चा दे संगलाई। सदके जाओ नचिया दे, सदके जाओ नचिया दे, जिन्ना नीविया नाल निभाई।
बहुत सुंदर।
हे समर्थ परमात्मा, निर्गुण ते निरंकार। भला करो सबका प्रभु, सबका हो कल्याण। गद गद होगी
क्या बात।
मालिका
दर्शन करके तेरे, रूह गद गद हो गई है दातिया दर्शन करके तेरे।
रूह गद गद होगी मालिका दर्शन करके तेरे।
रूह गद गद हो गई है दातिया दर्शन करके तेरे।
तेरे ज्ञान दे चानण ने, तेरे ज्ञान दे चानण ने, करते दिल चों दूर हनेरे।
रूह गद गद हो गई है दातिया दर्शन करके तेरे।
रूह गद गद हो गई
दातिया दर्शन करके तेरे। सभी तालियों के साथ साथ दें।
रमली नू नी अड़ियो बिन देखे अपनाया। सारी दुनिया वेख रही, दुनिया वेख रही नी संगते में जो वर कर पाया। मेरी बहाना छोड़ी जी, मेरी बहाना छोड़ी जी, मालका में लड़ लग गई तेरे। मेरी बहाना छोड़ी जी, मालका में लड़ लग गई तेरे। गद गद हो गई है मालिका दर्शन करके तेरे। रूह ਛੇਤੀ ਆ ਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਆਜਾ ਪਰਦੇਸੀ ਆਵੇ ਵਾਸਤਾ ਏ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਛੇਤੀ ਆ ਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਆਜਾ ਪਰਦੇਸੀ ਆਵੇ ਵਾਸਤਾ ਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਾਝੋਂ ਚੰਨਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨਾ ਜੀਵੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਾਝੋਂ ਚੰਨਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨਾ ਜੀਵੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਵੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਕੀ ਏ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਆਜਾ ਪਰਦੇਸੀ ਆਵੇ ਵਾਸਤਾ ਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਰੁੱਸ ਗਿਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਰੁੱਸ ਗਿਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਿਆ ਕਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਨੇਰੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਦਿਲ ਵਾਜਾ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਆਜਾ ਪਰਦੇਸੀ ਆਵੇ ਵਾਸਤਾ ਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀ ਆਜਾ ਡੋਲਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕਦੀਆਂ
ਗੱਜ ਕੇ ਆਖੋ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਤਾਂ ਨੰਕਾਰ ਚ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਉਡੀਕ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੋ ਸੁਹਾਣੀ ਕੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਰਸੀਆ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਨਸੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਾਸ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਈਅਨ ਹੈਨਰੀ poet laureate of Walsall. Ian, I would like to invite you to come forward and share one of your renditions, one of your poems. Ian writes often on some of the themes that Babaji promotes and talks about. And one of the poems I think Ian's written tonight, he's going to share with us. Possibly on A World Without Walls. I think so. So Babaji, as you know, has been traveling from Delhi. He's traveled through Europe into North America, done many stations in Canada and America, and now on his return journey is in England. And the whole theme of that tour, that spiritual salvation tour, has been a world without walls, bridging humanity piece by piece. Ian, please take it away.
I'd like to share with you a word that Dr. Bobby has taught me. Perhaps you know it. If you do know it, perhaps you could shout it back to me. It goes like this. Dan Nirankari.
Tan Nirankari.
Oh, come on, is anyone out there? Dan Nirankari.
Tan Nirankari.
Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Surjit Dharmi asked me to write a poem specially for tonight, and I never say no to Surjit. So it's called World Without Walls. It's a rondo. Each line is 8 syllables. The first line is 4 syllables. World Without Walls, which then forms a recurring refrain. World without walls like a rainbow. No borders, a crowning halo. Unity in community. New adulthood from puberty. Mightier than a volcano. God's words are straight as an arrow. Grow to love and let the pain go. The lesson and infinity. World without walls. Burnish your hearts and let them glow. No time to cry in your pillow. God's love is here, reality. Living presence for all to see. Colours of the world, a window. World without walls. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Wonderful. Thank you very much. And as requested, one of our local singers, a talent from the West Midlands, who often performs here. I shouldn't say perform actually, because in Bhakti it's not a performance, it's actually an act of love. He comes and shares that love here every Sunday and in the week. Rasya ji and Sonia ji are going to share a beautiful hymn. And after Rasya ji and Sonia ji, if I can call upon Surjit Dhammi ji to share some thoughts in English.
ਸੁਆਸਨੇ ਦੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਖੋ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਉਤਮ ਬਈ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਉਤਮ ਪਿਆਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ संगत जी प्यार नहीं आखो
धन्यकार जी, प्रेम से बोलो प्यारे धन्यकार जी। साथ संगत जैसे दास ने विनती की थी, हमारे यहाँ मिशन के नौजवान संत जो साथ संगत बाबा जी का प्रचार स्थान स्थान पर कर रहे हैं, जो साथ संगत हर हफ्ते ये 10, 20, 30 नए महात्मा को लेकर आता है संगत में। साथ संगत बहुत ही बाबा जी की इन पर कृपा है। सुरजीत धामी जी ये साथ संगत अपने भाव प्रकट करेंगे और साथ संगत आज भी इनके साथ करीब 40-50 जो इनके लोकल सत्संग करते हैं कैनिक में, वो साथ में आए हैं बाबा जी के दर्शन करने के लिए। तो साथ संगत लंदन भी गए थे और दास समझता है कि एम्स्टरडैम का भी ये तैयारी करेंगे क्योंकि साथ संगत बाबा जी का प्यार इतना होता है। सुरजीत दामी जी आशीर्वाद लेंगे। तो साथ संगत इनके उपरंत दास बेनती करेगा कि यहाँ पर जो साधु राम जी हैं, साधु राम जी आए और ये भी बाबा जी के आशीर्वाद लें।
Oneness gathering, say from your souls and the depth of your hearts, Nirankari.
Nirankari.
It has truly awakened my soul to hear your words utter, express the one who is beyond words. You know, look how much room there already is when we remove the partition in this room. Already so many people can fit in this room. All we had to do was remove the partition. Imagine how many people I can fit in my heart if I just remove the partitions of ignorance, the partition of hatred, the partition of ego.
Beautiful.
Just by remove, there was already room there. There was already room here. We just removed the partition. And when we see on the sign, peace, not pieces, actually I'm just seeing everything in pieces. The earth is one piece, the star is another piece, the moon is another piece. We get down to human levels. The shirts are one piece, the turban's another piece, the beard's another piece. So that's all we see is pieces. Satguru, the enlightened sage, removes the pieces. He says it's not these pieces. And then we realize it's peace. Peace, not pieces. We are filled with the knowledge of that oneness, not division. The partition is just a division. In Latin, division, die meaning two in Latin, vision meaning what you see. I see one, I see the other. Already there's division. Already there's division. When we remove the other, there is only one. There's no stranger. You know, there's a friend of mine, a Punjabi, similarly as me, and when he lost his dog, his only companion, he was very sad. He said to his friend, I'm very lonely. I have no one in my life now. What do I do? His friend said, don't worry. Create a huge poster. The dog's picture on the poster, the dog's name in English, your phone number and your email address. The man was so happy. He said, I feel the partitions I've removed from my heart. You've given me an answer. You give me a solution. Then he became sad instantly. He goes, what's wrong? You said the only person in your life is a dog. I told you how to find him. Put up a huge poster up. Picture, email address, number, the name of the dog. He said, the problem is, the Punjabi man said, my dog only understands Punjabi. How is a dog Punjabi? How is a dog Indian? If a dog lives in an Indian house, it's still a dog. If a dog lives in a Jamaican house, it's still a dog. If a dog lives in an Englishman's house, it's still a dog. A plant in a Jamaican's house is still a plant. A plant in a Chinese house is still a plant. Things are just things. God created the goods. Man created the labels. From birth, human beings have added labels to everything. From the moment they're born, first the mother says, this is your dad, this is your sister, this is your brother, this is your aunt, this is your uncle. Soon after a few years, this is the iPhone, this is the iPad. Then they say, this is the latest version of the iPad with the latest apps. And then you ask all this question, Dad, what's this, what's this, what's this, what's this? But the main question of life's purpose is one thing. What is this which always surrounds me when everything else is gone? What is this which is with me when everything comes and goes? When my body will fail me, and it will. When my mind will be frantic, and it will fade away with its memory. When all I have will go, and the day will happen. Who will stay with me? What is that presence? And Satguru Baba Hardev Singh Ji Maharaj reveals that presence, reveals that knowledge. This is the glory of Satguru, the glory. It says, not to take too much of your time, but I would want to say this. When Satguru Baba Hardev Singh Ji Maharaj walked through those doors, the question I have to ask is, have I opened the doors in my heart? You know, there's a friend of mine went to the dentist. He was waiting in the queue for a long time. Then he was worried because there was a longer queue. He's thinking, what's happening? Maybe there's a problem. He goes to the receptionist. He says, excuse me, what's the queue? What's wrong? What's the problem? The receptionist says the patient has a big problem. What's that? He doesn't open his mouth. If I don't open my heart and Satguru is here, there's a problem. What can the dentist do? If the patient doesn't open his mouth, what can the Satguru do if the devotee doesn't open his heart? A flower is not known by the length of the stems or by the length of the petals or the color of the petals. A flower's blossoming is known by the extent at which those petals are opened. So a saint asked this one question, and I will leave with these words, that open the partitions in our heart. I do not know. I'm going to be open about it. Let the world enter me as I have entered the world. I entered the world without knowing anyone's position, without knowing anyone's caste, without knowing anyone's creed. And let that feeling of oneness enter me. And this is the hallmark of an enlightened sage, that he doesn't claim to know everything. A saint doesn't say, I know everything. What he does say is, I know the one who is everything. Who is everything? This is a presence that can be known here today. The blessings of Satguru Baba Hardev Singh Ji Maharaj. If anyone wants to know that which has no division, that which has no pieces, that which has no partition, it can be known today. All I have to do is, like that patient, open my mouth and say, can you please tell me where this formless is? That is all that's required. Just like a waterfall is beautiful, not because of the color of the water, simply because the water have decided to fall. It's the same water that you'll find in a river, but the water that decides to fall, people will travel miles to see that water, even if it only falls over a few feet. Those whose egos have fallen and mind bows before the enlightened, they are more beautiful than rainbows, more wondrous than oceans, more magical than galaxies. Place me at your feet. And say with, I want to hear it, that he can hear the sound, that he goes beyond these walls, beyond the walls. Say with love. Nirankari.
Thank you, Surjit ji. Please, yes. We should appreciate when somebody elevates us and raises us to a higher vibration. We should appreciate. Satsangat ji, साधु जी, साधु राम जी आ जाएं, सासक दिन से हम आशीर्वाद लेंगे और ये भी संगत की आशीर्वाद लेंगे. एक वाइट BMW है, a white BMW, registration MA1KKA. It's parked incorrectly and it's at risk of being towed away. So if that's your car, please go and check it immediately. And satsang जैसे मैंने announcement किया था, कुछ गाड़ियाँ जो महात्माओं की गाड़ी होगी, सासंगत वो अब भी डबल येलो लाइंस पर हैं, वहाँ पर टिकट्स लग रही हैं. सासंगत आप ज़रूर एक बार चेक करें. सासंगत एक परिवार का एक मेंबर भी जाकर देखा है, शायद आपकी गाड़ी डबल येलो लाइंस पर तो नहीं है, क्योंकि सासंगत ऐसा ना हो कि आपको टिकट लग जाए. तो सासंगत हुन सासंगत दिलबाग जी, सासंगत इनका तो कोई इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं चाहिए. दिलबाग जी जो सासंगत एक सेवादार हैं, सासंगत जो बाबा जी के साथ अक्सर रहते हैं, जहाँ भी हजूर जाते हैं ये साथ में होते हैं. सासंगत इनको हम अब श्रवण करेंगे. ये सासंगत सेवक भी हैं, गीतकार भी हैं, मैकेनिक भी हैं, ड्राइवर भी हैं, फोटोग्राफर भी हैं, कुक भी हैं. ये सासंगत हर तरफ से सासंगत बाबा जी इनको ताकत और इल्म बख्शा है. सासंगत इनसे हम आशीर्वाद लेंगे.
सत्संग जी प्यार से बोलिए.
निरंकार जी.
गुजर जाए जो दर तेरे सफल ओ जिंदगानी गुजर जाए जो दर तेरे सफल ओ जिंदगानी जो तेरे कम आ जाए मुबारक हो जवानी गुजर जाए जो दर तेरे सफल हो जिंदगानी कदे पुल के बिना पुल्ला ये की औकात है मेरी कदे पुल के बिना पुल्ला ये की औकात है मेरी है जो कुछ को लिए मेरे ये सब ही दात है तेरी जो अज खुशियाँ ते खेड़े ने ये तेरी मेहरबानी है जो अज खुशियाँ ते खेड़े ने ये तेरी मेहरबानी है जो तेरे कम आ जाए मुबारक हो जवानी गुजर जाए जो दर तेरे सफल हो जिंदगानी तेरी रहमत कमाले बे मिसाले हैं मेरे बाबा तेरी रहमत कमाले बे मिसाले हैं मेरे बाबा नजर जांदी है जिस पासे तू नाले मेरे बाबा मेरे जीवन दी तू दाता बदल देती कहानी है मेरे जीवन दी तू दाता बदल देती कहानी है जो तेरे कम आ जाए मुबारक हो जवानी गुजर जाए जो दर तेरे सफल हो जिंदगानी गुजर जाए जो दर तेरे सफल हो जिंदगानी सत्संग जी प्यार से बोलना
निरंकार जी थैंक यू दिलबाग जी साथ संगत दास बेनती करेगा कि नवरूप जी और उनके साथी ये भी मंच पर आ जाएं तो साथ संगत इनके उपरांत गुरमुख सिंह जी ये भी आएँ और साथ संगत प्यार भरी रचना के साथ आशीर्वाद लें गुरमुख सिंह जी बेडफोर्ड वाले ये आ जाएं मंच पर तो साथ संगत नवरूप जी से पहले दास गुरमुख जी को आमंत्रित कर रहा है साथ संगत हम देख रहे हैं वो शुद्ध घड़ी जो होती है वो अभी हमारे हिस्से आने वाली है दास रे देख रहा है कि माहौल भी शांतिपूर्ण बन गया है क्योंकि संस्कृत लिखा भी है कि ये स्वर्गपुरी का नक्शा नहीं खुद स्वर्ग ही उठा कर ले आया सासंगत सदगुरु स्वर्गों की नक्शों की बात नहीं करता सासंगत हमें स्वयं स्वर्गों का नज़ारा स्वर्गों का एहसास प्रदान करते हैं ये साथ संगत गुरु की रहमत होती है जैसे कहा गया है कि गुरु गोविंद दोनों खड़े काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु अपने जिन गोविंद दियो मिलाए सासंगत जो निरंकार प्रभु पार ब्रह्म हमारे अंग संग है, जो ईश्वर हमारे साथ रहता है, कभी जाता नहीं। तो साथ संगत ये हमारे अंग संग रहता है, लेकिन इसका एहसास नहीं होता जब तक साथ संगत सदगुरु हमें इसका जो पता है, जो साथ संगत ब्रह्म ज्ञान की दात जो होती है वो नहीं प्रदान करते, तब तक साथ संगत हमें पता नहीं चलता। तो साथ संगत अब दास चंद मिनटों में आप सभी के चरणों में बख्शिश बेनती कर रहा है कि सब खड़े हो जाएं। साथ संगत बाबा जी का आगमन इस हॉल में होने जा रहा है। आओ साथ संगत जय घोष में सभी शामिल हो। जो बोले तिस भले हाल, तान निरंकार, बोल सतगुरु बाबा हरदेव सिंह जी महाराज की जय, परम पूज्य माता जी की जय। प्रेम से बोलो प्यारेओ, धन निरंकार। God is one. Our mission is universal brotherhood. We stand for world peace and unity. साथ संगत वो जो साथ संगत प्यारा सा समय होता है, साथ संगत जो रहबर दुनिया का, जिनके साथ संगत सहारे हम भव सागर पार कर सकते हैं, वो महात्मा इस समय इस हॉल में आ रहे हैं। इनका आगमन हो रहा है। साथ संगत जो प्यार बख्शिश रहमत सदगुरु करते हैं, साथ संगत वो हमें बाबा जी खुद स्वयं प्रदान करने आए हैं। और साथ संगत दास अभी विनती कर रहा है कि नवरूप जी और इनके साथी एक स्वागत का गीत लेकर साथ संगत हम सबको निहाल करेंगे। बोल सदगुरु बाबा हरदेव सिंह जी महाराज की जय।
हे सत्संग जी प्यार से कहना
गुरु रूप प्यारी साध संगत जी प्रेम से कहिए धन. It is a historic day for United Kingdom that Her Majesty and Her Office have recognized the good work of Nirankari mission in UK to bring communities closer to one another, create oneness of different caste, different religions. And His Holiness recently, although the work was carried on for years and years and years, from last few months, he changed the name of our centers. He said, the name of our center has to be Center for Oneness. And we are pleased that the whole community have recognized this. This center here, where we are all sitting, it is neither Muslim nor Hindu nor Sikh. It is Center for Mankind, Center for Oneness. And it is my privilege. First of all, I like to apologize that for a major incident here, health issues, we had to delay the program. But Lord Lieutenant, he said, it's for good thing, no problem. Doesn't matter. Time stops when Babaji comes. And he's so gracious, so kind, that he is the main representative, first representative of Her Majesty the Queen West Midlands. But he said, I'm not going to present. Normally what we see in the world is a boss. He always, it was said in the conference hall that normally people work and boss take the credit. But here it is, perhaps the boss also work very hard, but he want to take credit. His deputies should take credit. So can I now request our most honored, most beloved Deputy Lieutenant of West Midlands, representing Her Majesty the Queen, Simon Topman. Please welcome Simon Topman, who is going to present the award to His Holiness.
Your Holiness Nirankari Babaji and Puja Mataji, Dan Nirankar. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I was welcomed when I arrived here this afternoon, as I always am, by a most charming and delightful young lady, and she looked at me very seriously and slightly quizzically, and she said, "Are you here for the poetry, or are you going to give blood?" I enlightened her that I was here for neither, but was here to make a presentation as the Deputy of the Lord Lieutenant, and therefore on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. And so here I am doing exactly that. I wonder if you really know very much about the award that has been made to the Nirankari mission. I would like to tell you just a little bit about it. It started in 2002 at the Queen's Golden Jubilee, and very quickly established itself, as you would expect, as the Queen's Award, as the very highest accolade, the greatest achievement and recognition you can make in the world of voluntary service. It is not something to be taken lightly or with a pinch of salt. Across the West Midlands, there are over 100,000 voluntary service organisations that are registered and known about. There are probably an awful lot more than that, actually, who aren't registered and are there doing good work. And from the West Midlands, last year, there were only 14 nominees. So straight away, the mere fact that you had a nomination is a phenomenal accolade to have. My job was to write a citation that then goes to a scrutiny committee who look very carefully indeed at whether an organisation is worthy of this very high and very prestigious award. And I can tell you, I've probably never had an easier citation to write. It almost wrote itself. And something that occurred to me on one of my 4 visits before my citation was written, when I was received by a group of very young people, shown around, I was able to speak to them, ask them what they were doing. I cannot tell you how impressed I was by their courtesy, by their demeanour, by the intelligence that I encountered when I spoke to them, by their absolute determination to do good things. And you know what I thought to myself, and it's a terrible thing to say in a way, I thought, why don't I encounter this more? It shouldn't be special. Wouldn't it be lovely if the whole country was like this? But it is special, and it's something that you should be proud of, because those young people are a beacon who will go forward when people like me are forgotten and carry forward the great values of this organisation, of what you have here. One of the things that I am asked to do when I write the citation is to talk about the reach of whatever organisation it is, whatever voluntary service it is, into the community, and to say whether it really touches many souls and many hearts. Wow, when I look here tonight at how many people have turned up for this presentation, what an easy question that was for me to answer. But the crucial question, the most important question, is what is it about these people that is absolutely exceptional? What distinguishes them from the other 100,000 plus voluntary services that we know are out there? I could, of course, talk all evening about the things that you do and that I was impressed with when I was shown them and told about them. But if I had to focus on one thing, it would be absolutely the values that you espouse. Those are what you bring to the community here, what you bring to our country that we all live in, and what you're giving to those young people who will carry it forward. And I think that is, and clearly the people in London who scrutinise and make the final award agree, absolutely exceptional. So I hope you're all very, very proud of yourselves for what you have achieved here, for leadership that is excellent, and hard work on the part of every single one of you to make that leadership count and pay. So it is with great pleasure indeed, as the Deputy Lieutenant, representative of the Queen on this occasion, to present to Your Holiness the certificate signed by Her Majesty that gives to Nirankari Mission the Queen's Award, the highest you can achieve for voluntary service.
साथ संगत आपने देखा कि जो बाबा जी ने शिक्षा दी है उसके कारण और उस शिक्षा को आप केवल सुनते नहीं, केवल पढ़ते नहीं, आप जीते हैं। दैट मेक डिफरेंस। और इन्होंने बिना नोटिस दिए 4 बार आकर आपका काम देखा है, कि इसलिए नहीं कि पहले बताकर आए तो आप तैयार रहें ना, आपको देखा है। और केवल इस भवन में नहीं देखा, आउटसाइड कम्युनिटी देखा है इस मिशन के मेंबर्स को, कि दूसरी कम्युनिटी आपके बारे में क्या सोचती है। इन्होंने एक एक को पूछा है। अब मैं प्रार्थना करूंगा अनदर डेप्टी लेफ्टिनेंट डॉक्टर सत्य शर्मा जी, ही इज प्रमोटिंग organ donation as well, and which this mission very dearly support, and Satya Sharma ji, who is another Queen's representative. Satya ji, can you please come here and say a few words? Satya Sharma ji. He was first to reach to Kathmandu. He was first to reach in Nirankari Bhavan in Kathmandu on 28th of April after the disaster of 25th of April. Satya Sharma. And this evening he is representing Queen here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, and my apologies to those people who don't understand Hindi or Punjabi, because I'm going to talk to you in Hindi and Punjabi. तो एक बारी प्रेम नाल बोलो ना, धन निरंकार। गल है कि वेस्ट मिडलैंड्स विच कोई 4.5% पॉपुलेशन रहती है, तुहाडे वर्गे मेरे वर्गे लोग। उन्हां विचों रब नूं प्रेम करन वाले सारे ने, रब दा कम करन वाले भी सारे ने, पर रब दा कम इन्ना उच्चा करके अपना नां रोशन करने वाले थोड़े ने। ज़्यादा अच्छी गल ये है कि असी काम ऐसा करिए कि क्वालिटी दा काम होवे, असी काम ऐसा करिए कि जान तो बाद जेड़ा सानू याद करे वो खुश होवे, साड़ी गल सुन के, साड़ा नां सुन के खुश होवे। जे साड़ी कोई बुराई भी करे तो कोई मनन नूं तैयार ना होवे, क्योंकि उन्होंने पता होवे कि यह रब दा बंदा सी। क्या बात है। जेड़ी तुहाडी सीख है, जेड़ी तुहाडी शिक्षा है, वो तो जाहिर है ही। तुसी इन्ने चंगे बाबा जी दी सत्संग उन्हां दी संगत बैठे हो, उन्हां दा कीता होया कर्म, उन्हां दी मेहरां तुहाडे उत्ते हैन ते बनी रहन। पर तुसी जे एक बंदा फूल वांगू अपनी खुशबू बिखेर के जावे, फिर तो मज़ा भी आवे। एंड एक गल होर, इज़न्ट इट इंटरेस्टिंग कि बाइबल विच 5 लैटर्स ने, गीता विच भी 5 लैटर्स ने, कुरान विच 5 लैटर्स ने, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ एक लैटर होर जोड़ दिओ तो 6 लैटर बन जाते हैं, जिस तो टैंपल या विहारा या चर्च, वो 6 टैंपल्स ने। वो एक केड़ा लैटर तुहानूं जोड़ना चाहिए है, वो है गॉड दा। जे तुसी एक लैटर जोड़ोगे तो दैन ए जगह जिथे तुसी बैठे हो वो तो टैंपल है ही, जिथे जिथे तुसी जाओगे वो भी टैंपल बन जाएगा। तुसी भावें हिंदू हो या मुसलमान हो या सिख हो, सिर्फ एको चीज़ की ज़रूरत है कि इफ़ यू वांट टू बी हिंदू, बी ए गुड हिंदू। इफ़ यू वांट टू बी ए मुस्लिम, बी ए गुड मुस्लिम। इफ़ यू वांट टू बी ए सिख, बी ए गुड सिख। इफ़ यू वांट टू बी Jew, be a good Jew. But above all, be a good human being. And that is what you have proved by not giving. We are not giving the prize, by deserving the prize that you have deserved. And I must congratulate you on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. It's an honor which you all share. So you can be proud of today and you can be proud of yourselves. But please spread this fragrance as much as you can and as far as you can. Thank you.
तो साथ संगत
और ये क्रिस्टल हर मैजेस्टी क्वीन उन्होंने अपनी, और फ्रॉम नाउ ऑन, मैटर फैक्ट फ्रॉम 2nd of June we could use this emblem of Her Majesty the Queen on our old letters, on all publications. So, Babaji, we are grateful, we are thankful that because of your teaching, we all, this is not just for one person or for Nirankari Mandal, this is for the whole satsang, whole Sangat and whole community of West Midlands who have been honored and recognized by Her Majesty the Queen. So thank you very much.
जी तो साथ संगत अब दास सबके आप सबकी तरफ से बाबा जी के चरणों में नमन होने जा रहा है। साथ संगत बाबा जी हमको अपना पावन पवित्र आशीर्वाद प्रदान करेंगे और साथ संगत सभी मंगलाचरण में अपनी अपनी रचना पवित्र कीजिए। हे समरथ परमात्मा, हे निर्गुण निरंकार, तू करता है जगत का, तू सबका आधार। कन कन में है बस रहा तेरा रूप अपार। तीन काल है सत्य तू, मिथ्या है संसार। घट घट वासी हे प्रभु, अविनाशी करतार। दया से तेरी हो सभी, भव सागर से पार। निराकार साकार तू, जग के पालनहार। है बेअंत महिमा तेरी, दाता अपरंपार। परम पिता परमात्मा, सब तेरी संतान। भला करो सबका प्रभु, सबका हो कल्याण। भला करो सबका प्रभु, सबका हो कल्याण।
सत्संग जी प्रेम से कहना
धन निरंकार जी।
सत्संगत करीब 1 महीने से कुछ दिन ऊपर हुए हैं, जबकि लंदन में विशाल सत्संग का आयोजन हुआ था on the 28th of June, when I got a chance to visit a congregation in London at Heathrow Airport. And today again, I'm happy to see you all and be amongst you all, spending these moments in the praise of the God Almighty. Meanwhile, from London, I left for Montreal, Canada, on the 30th of June, and from there to Calgary in Alberta, Canada, where we had a 2-day event in the form of youth conference, and the theme of the conference was The World Without Walls, Building Bridges Piece by Piece. And also happened to be part of the Stampede, the famous Stampede, and mission representation was there in the parade too, for the first time ever, where a float depicting the fountain of oneness, the replica of the one we have at our headquarters in Delhi. And that too was admired by one and all. The message it gave, the fountain of oneness. And from there I went to San Francisco, California, USA, and that western part of United States. From there to Los Angeles, where a formal opening of the new Bhavan took place, and also a big congregation was organized in the Long Beach Convention Center. And there too, this same message of oneness, of selflessness was conveyed, and so many people participated from different walks of life. And from there went to Arizona, Phoenix, where there too we have a center and a branch. And from there to Texas, Dallas, and then on to Atlanta, Georgia, and then on to Cincinnati in Ohio, and then to Columbus, Indiana, and various other places in Indiana State, and then on to Illinois, Chicago, and then on to Milwaukee and Minneapolis, Madison, Michigan, in Detroit and Arbor, and then on to Cleveland and Rochester, and then on to Canada, Toronto, which was the last leg of the North American tour, which was on the last weekend, and spending another day there, left for London and reached here early morning and drove to Birmingham. So I'm very happy to be part of this congregation, and this evening especially we saw so much enthusiasm when the blood donation drive was going on, and so many donors were present here. And I was mentioning to one of the organizers who were here, and I mentioned that when we were in Atlanta, the congregation was going on, and there also the blood donation camp was being organized, and similarly the organizers, they mentioned that whatever blood has been given by the mission in association for the last few years, and that person was mentioning that it had saved hundreds of lives. So similarly, globally, such enthusiasm is being seen, witnessed when so many numbers are coming forward to serve mankind, participating in such noble tasks. And also I got a chance this evening to meet so many other people who have strong faith in God Almighty, who have strong faith in human values, and who are believers in love, compassion, tolerance, peaceful coexistence. And now just we witnessed that Her Majesty the Queen's award for voluntary service, which is bestowed upon the mission, which is just now formally handed over by the representatives of the Queen, the Mr. Paul Sabapat, Lord Lieutenant, and he is present here, and formally handover took place by Mr. Satya Sharma, the Deputy Lieutenant, and also Mr. Simon Tobman, Deputy Lieutenant. I am thankful to you all, and it's a privilege and an honor to serve mankind. So this is an ongoing process, and as I mentioned, I just visited America, and I remember a few words which was said by once by Martin Luther King Jr. He once said that life's most persistent and urgent question to be asked is, what are you doing for others? So this is the question we have to pose to ourselves. that what are we doing for others? But most of the times what we see is that people have become so selfish that they won't think beyond themselves, they won't consider anything important than themselves. But those who believe in human values, humanity, who believe that this whole mankind is a family of God Almighty, all are members of this family, so they always are considerate about others and they come forward to do their bit in whatever the capacity they are. So indeed you all deserve congratulations, because it is you who have been working hard here in United Kingdom. So many trees you planted, even in the cold, severe conditions in Yorkshire up north, or whether it was a rain conditions, or there were floods, or there were certain walks and certain events which you organized. It is all you who have been participating, so you all deserve this award, which is just handed over to myself, but you are the true deservers. You deserve it all. So I pray and wish that may Nirankari bless you, that this enthusiasm may ever remain strong and it shouldn't die down. It has to be an ongoing process to give back to the society, to serve the Lord by serving mankind. So साथ संगत बहुत ही खुशी हासिल हुई है ये देखकर जानकर कि इस तरह से इस मिशन को सम्मान मिला है, और जगह जगह पर ऐसा सम्मान मिल रहा है, क्योंकि ऐसी डेडिकेशन जहाँ भी देखी जाती है. अभी just quite recent when I was on this tour in Andhra Pradesh, there was an event, a Kumbh Mela sort of. तो वहाँ पर भी लाखों लोग जाते हैं और मिशन के द्वारा वहाँ काफ़ी सेवा दल के जवान और बहनें गईं, traveling from Hyderabad, traveling for 7-8 hours, arranging their own coaches, और वहाँ जा जाकर उन्होंने, हालांकि उनका कोई मिशन से वास्ता नहीं है, लेकिन जो उन्होंने योगदान वहाँ पर दिए, और जब वहाँ चीफ मिनिस्टर का विज़िट हुआ, जैसे अभी भी मिस्टर टॉपमैन ने कहा कि और भी अनेकों संस्थाएं अपना योगदान देती हैं, तो वहाँ पर भी वही नज़ारा देखने को मिला कि गाड़ी से उतरने के बाद चीफ मिनिस्टर चल रहे हैं और रास्ते में कितनी संस्थाएं वाले अपना अपना योगदान दे रहे हैं. उनके पास से गुज़रते गुज़रते जाकर रुके जहाँ पर मिशन का वहाँ कैंप लगा था, जहाँ पर नौजवान हाथ से सेवा कर रहे थे, बहनें कर रही थी, और सब उन्होंने पूछा, जाना, और अंत में यही कहा कि मिशन की डेडिकेशन और सिंसियरिटी से हम भली भांति वाकिफ़ हैं जो योगदान दे रहे हैं, और आने वाले समय में हम आंध्र प्रदेश में ट्री प्लांटेशन ड्राइव करने जा रहे हैं. So we have faith in the mission that they will give best results. तो इस तरह से ये लगातार स्थान के ऊपर जिस रूप में भी योगदान ये दिए जा रहे हैं. Even when the Commonwealth Games were held in Delhi, 600 volunteers from our Sevadal who control traffic, they were deputed around the stadiums in Delhi. And the Commissioner of Police, he issued certificates to each of the volunteers who participated. So these are just few instances which I am mentioning. The list is a long one. So once again, I am thankful for this award, from Her Majesty the Queen for voluntary service. And also, I'm happy to meet the worthy mayor, and constantly we have been getting so much cooperation from the council, from the mayors, and so many officers and so many other organizations, so that encourages us to do more. So I thank all of them and all of you who are present here, who have, some of them have got this chance for the first time to be part of this atmosphere where you are spending these moments, a blissful atmosphere. So साथ संगत दा ज़्यादा समय नहीं लेगा, क्योंकि although the tour's last leg was in Toronto, and today morning, 5th morning, I was to fly to Delhi. But while I was on tour, and we decided that another program in Europe can be organized. And also when I was in London, saints from West Midlands, Birmingham, they mentioned there that we have a very odd feeling that you in UK and not being in West Midlands, not being in Birmingham. So when we thought of holding a congregation in Amsterdam, Holland, this coming Saturday, Sunday, so got a chance to spend one day in Birmingham, Midland, and for that matter, also got a chance to be part of these proceedings and meeting and seeing all of you and getting this award on behalf of all of you. तो साथ संगत तमाम जगहों पर जहाँ जहाँ पर भी जाने का मौका मिला, बहुत ही उत्साह देखने को मिले, नौजवानों के उत्साह देखने को मिले, बुज़ुर्गों के उत्साह देखने को मिले। सभी जगह पर कोशिश की गई कि जगह जगह पर महापुरुष पहुँचते रहे। कई कई परिवारों ने वहाँ हाजिर होकर अपनी भक्ति भरे भाव समक्ष रखे। और दास सोच रहा था कि अक्सर वो गीत आप बोलते हैं कि गोडे गोडे चढ़े आए चाह, तो जब चले तो गोडे गोडे चाह तो था ही, तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि बर्मिंघम आते आते मोडे मोडे चढ़े आए चाह। कि गोडे से मोडे तक तो पहुंच ही गया है, और बाकी सर से ऊपर एम्स्टर्डम जाकर हो ही जाएगा। So also in Toronto, as by now you are well aware, that we held a NIS, Nirankari International Samagam, which we held here in Birmingham at NIA in 2012 when the Olympics were going on in London and elsewhere. So since then, whether the members of the congregation in India or globally, they were saying that when is the next one? And few of them said that, is it that the next one will be organized in the Olympic year? So it was just lighter moments which, when this was mentioned, but somehow it has happened. Next year is the Olympic year, and the next NIS Samagam is being held next year in Toronto, Ontario. So when this was conveyed and announced, all the youngsters and members, they started dancing and they were so full of joy. And you could see their enthusiasm. They have started imagining things and what to be done and how to be done. And I mentioned that a Hindi movie came few years back where the hero, he says, I walk English, I talk English, I eat English, because he was always trying to speak English. I said, now your state is that I talk NIS, I walk NIS, and so such an enthusiasm. Though before that, in this coming November, the annual Samagam is being held in Delhi, as we hold it every year, where almost 1 million people gather for 4 days, once again to expand this message of oneness, harmony in oneness, pulling down walls, building bridges, and promoting humanity as the true religion. So without taking much of your time, because I know well that many of you have to travel long distances, and I thank God that I got a chance to be here in Midlands, in Birmingham, and seeing you all. So with these few words, without taking much of your time, I conclude these words. Sangat ji, धन्यवाद.
निरंकार जी जो बोले तिस भले हाल तान निरंकार. थैंक यू बाबा जी. साथ संगत, अब संगत का जो ये वातावरण बना है ये ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा. दास गुरमुख सिंह जी और उनके साथियों में इनके चरणों में बेनती करेगा ये आएँ और भजन रूप में सदगुरु के आशीर्वाद लें. और साथ संगत जैसे जैसे भी सेवादाल के महात्मा हम सबको बताएंगे वैसे वैसे हमने नमस्कार करनी है. और साथ संगत बहुत ही शांति पूर्वक जो यहाँ पर समा बना है, साथ संगत हमने ऐसे ही शांति स्थापित करके रखनी है. हजूर सच्चे पातशाह हमारे दरमियान हैं, हम इस भक्ति भरे रस का आनंद मानते जाएंगे. साथ संगत जो the deputy lieutenants, representatives of the Queen, are now taking their blessings and leave, and we are very privileged that they have traveled to be with us today. Thank you very much. और साथ संगत गुरमुख सिंह जी के चरणों में दास विनती करेगा. So please remain seated. There will be an opportunity to have an audience with His Holiness and Pujya Mataji. You will be directed by the volunteers in blue outfits. They will help us and guide us, and as they direct, let us work and cooperate with them so that we can have a very peaceful and enjoyable remaining moments with Babaji. Gurmukh ji.
सासंग जी प्यार से कहिए धन्यवाद जी.
नमस्कार दोनों तरफ से होगी और साथ संगत दास सेवादाल महात्माओं के चरणों में बेनती कर रहा है ये साथ संगत कोऑर्डिनेट करें. से जो नमस्कार है दोनों तरफ से होगी, तो साथ संगत सेवादाल जैसे जैसे बताएंगे.
जो बोले तिस बलिहार.
साथ संगत जो दूर से आए हैं, जो संगते ग्लासगो से आए हैं, जो ब्रैडफोर्ड से आए हैं, जो लंदन ईस्ट लंदन से आए हैं, साथ संगत हम सभी ने उनको पहल देनी है. साथ संगत उन्होंने बहुत लंबा सफ़र है उनका. साथ संगत जो दूर से महात्मा आए हैं वो पहले नमस्कार करेंगे, तो साथ संगत ऐसे नमस्कार चलती जाएगी. गुरमुख जी. तालियों के साथ दीजिए.
रहमत ने तेरी रहमत ने
संगत
तेरी इको थाप नाल होश सानू आ गई, तेरी इको थाप नाल होश सानू आ गई। चरना दी धूड़ मथा साडा चमका गई, चरना दी धूड़ मथा साडा चमका गई। बेसहारियां नू बख्शे सहारे, सहबावे तेरी रहमत ने, तेरी रहमत ने साडे कीते ने पार न्यारे। सहबावे तेरी रहमत ने, तेरी रहमत ने।
गलियां दे
कखां नू तू लख दा बना लिया, गलियां दे कखां नू तू लख दा बना लिया। नीच ते निमाणियां नू सेवा विच ला लिया, नीच ते निमाणियां नू सेवा विच ला लिया। लगे डुबदे ने पत्थर तारे, सहबावे तेरी रहमत ने, तेरी रहमत ने साडे कीते ने पार न्यारे। सहबावे तेरी रहमत ने, तेरी रहमत ने।
साथ संगत जी, आप जी साथ संगत सभी एक साथ मत उठे, साथ संगत आराम से, हमारे पास समय है, इतनी लंबी लाइन लाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। जहाँ जहाँ भी आप हो एक समय आप बैठ जाएं। साथ संगत जैसे सेवादार के महात्मा उठाएंगे ऐसे ऐसे हमने मानना है, क्योंकि साथ संगत लाइन बहुत लंबी हो चुकी है। प्लीज़ टेक अ सीट, यू डोंट नीड टू ऑल